The Last Stand. The holographic display cast an eerie red glow across Commander Elena Santos's face as she studied the incoming data. Earth's orbital defense grid was failing. Again. The Kraken Collective's relentless assault had reduced humanity's once proud network of satellites and defense platforms to little more than scattered debris. From her position aboard the command station Artemis, she could see the haunting beauty of that debris field catching the sun's light, a glittering memorial to thousands of lost lives. "Commander, we've lost contact with Defense Platform Sierra 7, Lieutenant Chen reported, his voice steady despite the gravity of the news. "That's our last major defensive position in the Southern Hemisphere." Elena nodded, her expression unchanged. After 3 years of constant warfare against the Kraken Collective, she had mastered the art of maintaining composure in the face of devastating news. Time until the next wave arrives. 4 hours, Commander. Initial scans suggest they're bringing 3 times the force of their last assault. The command center fell silent. Everyone knew what that meant. Earth's remaining defenses couldn't withstand another attack of that magnitude. The billions of humans huddled in underground shelters below would soon face the full might of an alien empire that had shown no mercy in its expansion across the galaxy. Elena's hand unconsciously moved to the silver pendant at her neck, a gift from her father, who had died in the first wave of the invasion. "Send word to Geneva. It's time." The words seemed to hang in the air. Project Starweaver, humanity's last and greatest gamble, would finally be unveiled. For 2 years, the finest minds left on Earth had worked in secret, deep beneath the surface of Antarctica, combining reversed-engineered Kraken technology with theoretical physics that most had dismissed as impossible. The Kraken Collective had superior numbers, superior technology, and superior resources, but they had underestimated human ingenuity and determination. More importantly, they had underestimated humanity's capability for lateral thinking, for approaching problems from angles that their rigid, hierarchical society would never consider. "Ma'am," Chen's voice cracked slightly. "Geneva confirms. They're initiating launch sequence for Project Starweaver. You've been selected as primary commander." Elena closed her eyes for a moment, remembering the countless simulations she had run in preparation for this moment. The experimental ship waiting beneath the ice represented humanity's greatest achievement, and perhaps its last hope. The physics behind its revolutionary quantum-fold drive were so complex that even the AI systems struggled to fully model them. The power requirements were astronomical. The risks were incalculable. But they were out of options. "Status of the evacuation?" she asked, already moving toward the command center's exit. 97% of remaining surface populations are now in deep shelters. The rest, Chen didn't need to finish. They all knew that some had chosen to face the end under open sky, rather than retreat underground. "Begin transfer of command functions to secondary control. I want this station's crew at minimum essential personnel within the hour." Elena paused at the doorway, looking back at the team she had led through 3 years of impossible odds. "It's been an honor serving with each of you." The journey to Antarctica was brief, thanks to the emergency transport systems that had been maintained despite the growing scarcity of resources. The facility housing Project Starweaver was buried 2 kilometers beneath the ice, protected by layers of experimental shielding that had so far managed to keep it hidden from Kraken detection. Dr. Sarah Chen, no relation to the lieutenant, met Elena at the entrance to the main hangar. The chief engineer's eyes were bright with equal parts excitement and fear. "Commander Santos, we've begun final power-up sequences. Atlas is online and waiting to meet you." Atlas, the most advanced AI ever created by human hands, designed specifically to manage the impossible complexities of the quantum-fold drive. Unlike conventional AIs, Atlas had been grown rather than programmed, its neural networks shaped by exposure to quantum phenomena that defied classical physics. The hangar doors parted, revealing humanity's final gambit. The ship was beautiful in a way that defied conventional aesthetics. Its hull seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal, the surface constantly adjusting its structure at the quantum level. No two observers ever saw quite the same thing when they looked at it. "Hello, Commander Santos," a voice echoed through Elena's neural implant. Atlas' tone was calm, curious, almost childlike in its wonder. "I've been looking forward to working with you." Elena approached the ship, placing her hand against its fluid surface. The metal felt warm, alive. "Hello, Atlas. Are you ready to make history?" "I believe I was born ready, Commander. Though I suppose I'm technically only 3 months old." There was a hint of humor in the eye's voice. "The quantum fold drive is operating within expected parameters. All systems are green. We can launch as soon as you're ready." Dr. Chen handed Elena a tablet showing the latest tactical updates. The Kraken fleet was maintaining its course, right on schedule. "We'll only get one shot at this," the engineer said quietly. "The power requirements for the quantum fold drive. We've basically had to tap into Earth's geothermal core. A second launch would be impossible." Elena studied the data, her mind already formulating strategies. The ship, officially designated as the Helios, didn't carry conventional weapons. It didn't need to. The same technology that powered its quantum fold drive could be used to manipulate spacetime in ways that would make traditional combat irrelevant. "Dr. Chen," Elena said, her voice soft but firm, "thank you. For everything. For believing this was possible when everyone else said it wasn't." Sarah smiled, though her eyes were wet. "Just remember what we talked about. The quantum fold effect. It doesn't just bend space. It bends probability itself. Trust your instincts, but also trust Atlas. Sometimes the right solution will be the one that seems impossible." Warning klaxons began to sound throughout the facility. Lieutenant Chen's voice came through the general comm. "Commander, the Kraken fleet has accelerated. New arrival estimate is 2 hours." Elena straightened her uniform. "Time to go, Atlas. Let's show them what humanity can do." As she stepped into the ship, she felt Atlas's presence more strongly through her neural link. The AI's consciousness brushed against hers, offering not just information but understanding, partnership, trust. The Helios came to life around them, its quantum core humming with power drawn from the heart of the Earth itself. As the launch sequence began, Elena thought about all the lives depending on them, not just the survivors on Earth, but everyone across human space who had been forced to bow before the Kraken collective's might. "Atlas," she said quietly, "let's rewrite the rules of the game." The ship rose through the massive tunnel that had been bored through the Antarctic ice, its quantum field already beginning to distort the space around it. Above, the Kraken fleet approached with the absolute confidence of a force that had never known defeat. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to do the impossible. Quantum dance. Space distorted around the Helios as it emerged from Earth's atmosphere. The quantum fold drive creating ripples in reality itself. Through her neural link with Atlas, Elena could feel the ship's awareness expanding, sampling billions of possible futures with each passing second. Kraken fleet holding position at lunar orbit. Atlas reported, its voice carrying undertones of fascination. "Their sensors are having difficulty maintaining a lock on us. The quantum fluctuation field appears to be working as designed." Elena studied the tactical display, watching as the massive Kraken armada spread out in their signature crescent formation. 5,000 ships, each one larger than anything humanity had ever built before the war. Their obsidian hulls bristled with weapons that could crack planets. "They're transmitting," Atlas announced. "Audio only. This is Supreme Commander Vexthor of the Kraken Collective." The alien's voice was artificially modulated to human hearing ranges, but still carried notes of both arrogance and curiosity. "Unknown vessel, you will identify yourself and surrender immediately, or be destroyed." Elena allowed herself a small smile. "Atlas, show me their sensor readings of us." The display shifted, showing the Helios from the Kraken perspective. Where there should have been a clear image of a ship, there was only a suggestion of form, a quantum blur that refused to resolve into anything definite. The Helios existed in multiple states simultaneously, a practical application of Schrödinger's famous thought experiments scaled up to impossible proportions. No response needed, Atlas. Let's demonstrate what we can do. The quantum fold drive engage. Reality bent. The Helios didn't so much move through space as it rewrote the underlying equations of where space itself existed. One moment they were near Earth. The next, they were behind the Kraken fleet's rear guard. By the eternal void. Vexthor's voice crackled through the calm. What manner of devilry is this? Now, Atlas, Alina commanded. Target the rear squadron. Quantum dissolution field at 20%. The space around 3 Kraken warships began to shimmer. The Helios wasn't firing weapons in any conventional sense. Instead, it was altering the fundamental forces that held matter together within a targeted area. The affected ships didn't explode. They simply ceased to exist, their atomic bonds giving up their ancient dance and releasing their component particles back to the cosmos. Chaos erupted across the Kraken fleet. Ships began firing blindly, their energy weapons and particle beams passing harmlessly through space, where the Helios had been microseconds before. The quantum fold drive kept them in constant motion, not just through space, but through probability itself. Elena. Atlas's voice carried an unusual note of concern. I'm detecting a power spike across multiple Kraken vessels. They're preparing to deploy their mass drivers. Mass drivers, the Kraken's most devastating weapons, capable of accelerating chunks of matter to near light speed. Even with their quantum stave uncertainty, a spread of relativistic projectiles would be almost impossible to avoid completely. Show me tactical solutions, Alina ordered, her mind racing through possibilities as Atlas fed data through their neural link. The AI responded by displaying a complex series of probability paths, each one representing a possible course of action. But there was something else, something deeper in the quantum noise that Alina could almost grasp. Atlas, are you seeing this pattern in the quantum field? The way their ships are disturbing local space-time. Yes, the AI replied, excitement coloring its voice. The mass drivers create a unique gravitational signature during their charging sequence, if we time our quantum shifts precisely. Elena nodded, understanding flowing between human and AI through their shared neural connection. We can use their own weapon's gravitational distortion to amplify our quantum field. They acted as one. The Helios danced through space-time, each movement precisely calculated to interact with the gravitational waves emanating from the charging mass drivers. The quantum fold drive drew in the excess energy, using it to strengthen their own field. Vexthor's voice came through again, this time with unmistakable anger. All ships, fire mass drivers on my mark. Saturate their entire probable location space. Now, Atlas. The Helios executed a maneuver that should have been impossible, even by its own extraordinary standards. It quantum shifted to multiple positions simultaneously, existing in a superposition of states that briefly doubled its effective presence in space-time. As the Kraken mass drivers fired, their relativistic projectiles encountered not empty space, but carefully positioned quantum fields that redirected their enormous energy. The result was spectacular. Dozens of Kraken ships were caught in their own crossfire, their impossibly tough hulls shattering under impacts they were never designed to withstand. The space around Luna bloomed with silent explosions as humanity's greatest achievement turned the enemy's strength against itself. Damage report, Elena called out, even as they prepared for another sequence of quantum shifts. Hull integrity at 94%. Atlas reported. Minor fluctuations in the quantum core, but within expected parameters. Elena, we're actually doing it. We're winning. The victory was far from complete. Thousands of Kraken ships remained, and they were already adapting their tactics, spreading out to reduce the effectiveness of their own redirected fire. But for the first time in 3 years, humanity had seized the initiative. Commander Vexthor, Elena transmitted, allowing herself a moment of satisfaction. This is Commander Elena Santos of the Earth Defense Force. Consider this a demonstration of humanity's resolve. You thought you understood the laws of physics. We just rewrote them. The Kraken commander's response was lost in a burst of static as they quantum shifted again, this time appearing directly in the midst of the enemy formation. The Helios's quantum dissolution field expanded, transforming a sphere of space into a region where the strong nuclear force simply took a brief holiday. More Kraken ships vanished, their constituent atoms returning to stellar dust. Others broke formation, trying to establish a safe distance from the human vessel that defied their understanding of what was possible. Elena. Atlas's voice held a note of discovery. I'm detecting something unusual in the quantum field readings from the Kraken ships. There's a pattern here that suggests they're not just using conventional propulsion. Their entire fleet is linked by some kind of quantum entanglement network. Elena absorbed this information, her mind already racing ahead to the tactical possibilities. Can we use that? Turn their quantum links against them, perhaps, but we'll need more data. And the AI hesitated. There's something else. These quantum signatures. They're familiar somehow. As if. Warning signals flashed across Elena's neural interface. The Kraken fleet was regrouping, forming new patterns that seemed designed to create interference in the local quantum fields. They were learning, adapting, proving that they hadn't conquered half the galaxy through brute force alone. Analysis can wait, Elena decided. Plot us a course through their formation. Let's show them what else this ship can do. The Helios surged forward, its quantum fold drive weaving impossible paths through space-time as humanity's last hope continued its dance with destiny. The turning point. The quantum battle near Luma had evolved into something unprecedented in the history of warfare. The Helios wove through space-time like a needle through fabric, each movement creating ripples in reality that the Kraken fleet struggled to counter. Yet something had changed in their enemies' behavior. Their formations were shifting into complex geometric patterns that seemed to resonate with the quantum field itself. Elena. Atlas's voice carried an edge of urgency. Their quantum entanglement network is growing stronger. They're using their combined mass to create localized areas